Hi Super Soul Sisters, toe treading shoes is what we're going to talk about today. So this is really a pair of shoes that we quite often land up wearing, I find, unintentionally as a rule. So like it's we don't mean to tread on somebody else's toes, do we? We know the expression. It's like, you've really upset me because there's, and what I call is a state of upset. There's a state of upset because of you, behaving in a certain way that someone else might have found offensive, or you're trying to get them to do something your way. So there's a level of, control sometimes, or it might be driven sometimes from a need of showing that they're smarter than somebody else. So, so the previous example of the control might be an Enneagram number 8 that is unhealthy, or even an unhealthy 3 in the Enneagram. Again, if you haven't watched those videos, you might want to go back and actually check those out. Look for the Enneagram 3 shoes. It'll be the I am successful shoes. It'll be the I am control shoes, or I like power shoes, I beg your pardon. I like control shoes. It'll be the, who else is there that is likely to be that, where they're unhealthy in the respect, I am right shoes. That is the next example of, it's more about, I need to prove to you that I'm right, to the point where I'll tread on your toes if I have to in order to prove it. Like, I'm right, you're wrong, okay? And that's not an uncommon game that a lot of, it doesn't matter what the Enneagram number is or what shoe wearing type you are, if people push our buttons enough, we get backed up into a corner, don't we? And we kind of go, look, I'm right, you're wrong. And you land up wearing these, like, I'm treading on your toes because I want to get out of my corner. Or you're the person doing the pushing, and it's like, I'm telling you this is how it is, and you might be treading on their turf, irrespective, because you're so passionately wanting to make your viewpoint that, irrespective of what I call the map of the worlds. So, we all have our own map of the world that I was mentioning again in previous videos, that we all have these sort of common areas, if you like, of what works, why we clash, the We Just Clash video. You can go and have a look at that. Or We Just Get On video. That explains, certain things, certain people we sort of clash with, like they're always treading on my toes, or they cause me to react in a certain way because I don't want to do it their way, or I'm trying to make them do it their way and they're not doing it, like I'm treading on their toes. So either someone is got their treading on, your toes, shoes on, toe treading shoes, or you're wearing those shoes. So I don't know which one that is, but quite often people aren't aware, and then it's like, oh, well, do I tread on people's toes? Like, if you're coming from a place of, oh, do you know, I didn't know that I did that, and I was completely unaware. So here's an example of how that would be. So say, for example, you're a high proactive, say a 3 in the Enneagram, which is all about I'm successful. You're a real go-getter. You're wanting to be the best version of yourself. You're wanting to implement in your own business some new strategy, and you get so overzealous about it. You go out there and you just implement it, bam, like that, and you go right there. Now, you haven't thought how that might be embraced. It may not work. That particular way that you're delivering it, or whatever it is, may not work for some of your staff, in this example, that you will end up treading on some people's toes. Maybe you have to change the structure, and it means that they're going to have a job change or restructure, or whatever the case may be. But they might go, whoa, that changes how my life runs, and I don't want it like that. And with all the best intentions, the idea was to have a better functioning business, and so you go in the guns blazing, make it happen, and then you've now ticked off like 2 or 3 or whatever X amount of your staff without even sort of realizing it, and you go, oh, could have done that better, right? So this is one of the challenges we sometimes have with the towards shoe wearers, which is one of the videos again in the channel that you can look at, and you can also do hashtag towards shoes in the Facebook group, in the Vicki Jane Facebook group. But it's not uncommon for us. It's not an intentional thing. It's just that we get so overexcited about what it is that we wanted to do. We don't think about how that's going to impact other people, and you'll end up treading on their toes. So sometimes we actually have to go, am I wearing those shoes? Which is what this is about. Awareness. Am I wearing my, toe treading shoes on? Do I have them on? Yes or no? Now, how do I know, Vicki? How do I know, Vicki Jane, whether I've got my toe treading shoes on? Well, you can tell because of how they react. They get upset, man. They get real upset. You might have tears. You might get anger. You might get irritation. You might get resistance. It's like, well, why? What happened? Like, there is something there that caused that upset, that what I call a state of upset, isn't there? So you've got to get clear about what, did you go in guns blazing with your point of view on something? So, find out, acknowledge that I had my toe treading shoes on and I didn't realize, and look, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it to come across that way. Maybe it's I'm going to do a video on, it's not what, what and how shoes, I'm going to call that one. Maybe it's just the delivery, so it may not actually be the thing that you're trying to implement. It might be, or what you're saying, it might have been how you said it or how you did it that caused that upset. So getting clarity on that. But first of all, you have to understand that you had your toe treading shoes on, you stood on their toes, and it's caused them to be upset. Maybe you're the one that received that. Maybe it's like, somebody had a go at you, and they're saying, look, you've got your opinion, but my opinion's right. And they're doing the 1 finger out, 3 pointing back. That's one of my other videos, isn't it? The 1 finger out, 3 pointing back shoes, where, it's actually 3 pointing at them and 1 pointing at you, and they're shaking. It's like, I'm right, you're wrong, and this is my way of doing it, and you should be embracing it. And so it might be the 5s of the Enneagram. It might be that they're so passionate about a cause or a belief system, or when you've challenged one of their identities, especially when it gets to the identity level, I am, and then you fill in the blank, and you don't agree with that, you are very likely to have some form of clash if you don't agree, and they will sometimes come at you because of that. So, is it something that you did that caused them, that activated something, that triggered something in them to react like that? Or was this just something environmental that caused them to tread on your toes? So the idea of having these toe treading shoes on and being aware of it is like, if somebody's got their toe treading shoes on and they've done it, if they've got the black swan shoes as a driver behind that, which is also another video, if their intention is to do harm to you, then you got to go, nah, not having a bar of that. So when you become aware of, you're intentionally wanting to tick me off, then you have the option of becoming ticked off or not, don't you? You can go, I can react to that, or I can choose not to. You are purposely treading on my map of the world, on my personal territory. This is my space, this is my bubble, and I don't want you in it, and you are trying to get in it. Now, if you react, then you've let them win that game. Okay, so we don't want that. So it's like, I choose not to react. I just, you can block it out. You can try different strategies, different, like sometimes you have to have your stand-up shoes on. Sometimes you have to have your Xena warrior shoes on and go, nah, mate, not having that, not going to happen. And, push them back. But it's the what and how, which I'll talk about in a bit, that you do that. So it's being aware of, got black swan shoes on, not a good intention, trying to manipulate me or trying to make me do something that I don't want to do. Yeah, nah, you know. But if you're not aware of that, if you can't spot that they were black swan shoes, if you can't spot that their intention was to, I'm going to make myself, you know, the one finger out, maybe it's just an argument, it's not a black swan thing, it's just that the heat of the moment, they've gone off. And it's just like, wow, I really triggered something in that person, and now they're really angry and they're trying to make themselves right and me wrong, and they're treading on my territory, and it's making me feel very uncomfortable and it's upsetting me. Then they've trod on my toes, haven't they? So they've had their, you know, toe treading shoes on, and that's upset me now. So start becoming aware. Do you do this? Do you have a pair of these you know, toe treading shoes? Do you wear them very often? What's causing you to wear them, if that's you? Or is it that you're finding that other people or a particular person often treads on your toes and just seems to really trigger you and activates you in a way that you're just like, oh, you know, they are in my space again and I just want them out, and I need to get a handle on how to handle that better. But you've got to be aware of who is it, how often, on about what are the triggers, what's setting you off, so that you can get more control. This is what this is all about. That emotional resilience that we build up within ourselves is around this. So hope you found that useful. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Please do pass this on to somebody else. If you're in the Facebook group, or if you're not in the Facebook group, you know, it's completely free. Come and join us over there. And, you know, maybe if there's something particular that's bothering you, do hashtag toe treading shoes in a DM to me. If there's something that's really bothering you, and I'll pick that up in one of my videos. I'm going to be starting Shoes Off What's Really Going On sessions, which is all about, let's start talking about actual real life scenarios that are happening for you guys, and we can start saying, you know, I can help you go, right, these are the pairs of shoes, help you identify what is working. If you're not getting clear about certain things, we can start going, okay, right, well, you know, that you're right, I didn't even notice that. Or there might be some coping strategies that I could suggest that will help you. So feel free, you can do that if you just, it's, you know, join me in the Facebook group with all the other Super Soul Sisters, and we can go from there. Look, I hope you found that useful. A beautiful, wonderful little step taking you in your direction of getting you in your shoes on your path, going your own way. I hope you really helped that, found that useful. And if you did, please join me again tomorrow. Namaste.